You ready?
Yep.
Hey guys, I want to share a few moments with you. I'm here with Ansi, and we're in my studio in North Hollywood. As you can see behind me, I've got the Amphion 218 speakers. I've been using them now for about 2 years, and I'm still thinking they're some of the best speakers I've ever used. In my world, in the studio world, you have a communication with your speakers that's kind of intimate. I like to say the joke. They're called speakers because they speak to you. They tell you, "Hey Dave, you think you know what you're doing, but this snare doesn't sound right. Give me a little more 2K. Take a little more low end out." And so, if your room isn't tuned correctly, and your speakers aren't speaking to you correctly, it really becomes impossible to mix. Mixing is such a fine line. We work in quarter dB increments. Now, the definition of a dB is the smallest amount of sound change that the human ear can hear, and we work at a fourth of that scale. So you've got to have great equipment, and you've got to have a room that's tuned as good as you can get it. Now, for those of you that are out there, the first thing I would experiment with when I get a pair of speakers is listen. Get yourself at the listening position and have a friend or two move the speakers around. An inch or two, one way or another, can make all the difference in the world. And then when you get it sounding as good as you can, like that, by speaker movement, then you can start trying different room treatments and things like that. The Amphions, to me, have a modern approach to monitoring, because when digital came in, the world changed in terms of what we wanted to get from a speaker. Speakers rebounded differently. So in other words, there's two sides of a sine wave. Sometimes the cone goes out, then it returns to the center position, then it goes back. And that speed can really affect how you hear and affect a lot of things. Now, in the digital space, we need a speaker that reacts pretty quickly. And the Amphions are made for a modern environment, like the environments that we use now. One of my assistants, you can guess who he was. He told me, he said, "Dave, why are you using those same speakers, dude? You want to make modern music, you got to use modern tools." So I went out and got my Amphions, and it was the best advice I was ever given. An interesting thing about these speakers is the stand is an extension of the low frequency range of the speaker. Some people would call that a sub, but this is actually more of an extension of the low frequencies, and so it's a much more musical approach and concept, as opposed to having a speaker and then a sub. These are all kind of connected, and because they're touching each other and they're on top of each other. I'm guessing that probably improves the phase relationship of all the components. But it's very musical. I run them loud, I run them soft, and they always give me the information I need. So go check them out. We'll see you soon.